Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Dicey Dungeons. Almost forgot the name of the game here. I spent a whole hour, the last recording, trying to do this Worse Than a Curse episode and still not really succeeding at it. So let's move on and let's do uptick. On your first turn, all the dice you roll is 1, on the second 2, third time lucky, nope, third time you roll 3, and so on. That's not that hard to get around, I imagine. Time to welcome a thief back to the dungeons. I'm getting a bit sick of his sad little face. Come on, give an extra huge cheer if you're getting sick of it as well. What's funny is they do have a cheering sound effect, but they don't seem to ever use it at the front there when a cheer would make sense. Alright, so we have lockpick and dagger, so nothing super different to start with. Alright. Increase and reset all dice. So if I do this 2, then I have a 2, and we do that, and then in the turn there's not much else we could do. I thought by default uptick was always going to work by itself, but it seems like you can also move the uptick. So I guess the question to ask here would be, what happens when we get to the 6th turn? And certainly there's a question here as far as just whether it's your turn counts as the first turn or your opponent's turn counts as the first turn. And at the top left it says turn 3, so it is only your turns are being counted. So split that. Trips would roll 3 dice at the current uptick value. Interesting. So there might be something to that. Unlike the previous episode that I failed at, I do actually want to fight everybody and just get back to a very standard gameplay style. Well, it's 5 now. Interesting. So uptick to 6 and then reset to 1 and then probably do trips at this point just to do this, and this. My health isn't great though, but I guess I win here and I would then level up. So bump this to 3 and win. So it does just wrap around once you get to 6 back to 1. So I'm perfectly fine. It's safer to take on sticky hands, probably second, because he can't really hurt you and his actions don't hurt. So do this. Well, this guy can hurt me. Okay. Split that. Bump that. Do that. Do that. Now arguably I could have bumped. Well, I guess I couldn't. That worked perfectly. Yeah, that was the best way to play. Okay. Split in 2. And then What do we want to do here? Let's spin that, and that keeps it on fire. And so I can do that again. 2, 4, and just 6. Actually, I could have used bump and not hurt myself. A pirate cares for nothing for win or for loss. A pirate carries only for fighting and for booze. For win or lose, I guess is what that, how I should have said that. We'll go and take health. And shopwise. Duplicating a dice for 4 versus leather armor or healing crystals. I kind of think healing crystals is the way to go, even though it usually isn't. Five health. Take on this guy next. Right. We'll activate trips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Split a dice in 2. Dice value up. Two and 4. Not quite a full one-turn kill. So it does look like at this point, if I got trips and I was on a 1 and pulled it, I would get 6 ones in a row and unlock that. Check that. Unlock that achievement. Let's see. Only need 2. So if I go to do this, then I'm back up to 28. Then I win. Kunai do double the damage, but it needs a 1 or Hall of Mirrors. But I've never gotten a Kunai before, so let's do that. Pea shooter. We'll take that also. And then counterfeit. We can't afford anything more. So he's going to steal gold from me if he can, and then work towards running away. Okay. 2, 4, 6 damage. Or I could split 1 and 2. Pea shooter. Pea shooter. Bump. Attack. At full health. Do another 3 damage there. Let's see. So we reset. So you do a kunai and it does 1. And it does 2 damage times that for 1. Which I guess means that the kunai is not particularly the best item. Yeah. I thought the requirement there might change or increase with uptick, but no such luck. Okay. We'll go ahead and just bump this. And do this. This. We don't have any other items to equip at the moment, so we'll live with what we've got. And we're doing fine, so yeah. Weakens and poisons. Split this, and then I guess bump that up. Do that. And do that. Then reset this to a 5. And then we could do 2 damage. Or we could reset ourselves up to 1s next turn, which is probably a better move. 2 poison and weaken. Okay. 1 damage or 1 damage. Start by splitting this. And then bump. You know what I should have done is I should have done this first and then had 2 2s. Yeah, that would have been a smarter move. Alright, so they're gonna do 4 poison. And they'll weaken this time. So, do this, split this, and then we will take health, and we can't do anything else, or don't need to do anything else. Magic Spear deal 2 damage when we have a 6. Hitting the wrong button. Okay. Well, I will get rid of Kunai in favor of the Magic Spear. The healing crystals will move over here. Arguably, maybe I should get rid of the pea shooter instead. Yeah, I'll take an experiment there and get rid of the pea shooter. Okay, so we have a 4. We split the 4 into 2s. Then 2 damage there. 2 health there. Bump this up to that. Bump this up to a 6. Do 10 damage. That seems like that works very well, particularly considering how that is not a once per game equipment. Yeah. So 3/3 there, and then nothing else to do, so do another 10 damage, and we have an extra dice. Let's see what potentially we could purchase. Dodge next attack, I'm not too interested. Reduce cooldown of all equipment, not interested. +1 health, reusable if it's an odd number. Instead of a healing crystal. No, I don't think I want that either. I'm just gonna hold on to everything. Let's see. Dagger plus would do 1 extra damage. Healing crystals would reduce poison by 1 and go to 4. Lockpick, I don't want. Dice value bumping twice. Doing 14 damage is interesting. Or being able to do a 1 or a 2 with the kunai. Which is more interesting, doing 14 damage or a 1 or 2 with the kunai? I think we go with Magic Spear first, because we might find something else that we want to replace the kunai with. Okay, so I've rolled 4 ones. If I do trips now and do that many ones, that feels like I just rolled 7 ones. If there is some other way, possibly, to have done more damage or rolled more ones, I'm not really sure how. Maybe I could get 1 more dice. This cactus guy, always trying to defeat me and failing miserably. So let's split that. Bump this for health, and then victory. We'll take all the food and move on. Okay. I guess first we should look at our option here. Would I want to remove bump for blight? No. So no option there. We're at full health. Let's fight the super dryad first. Okay. 3. 3. 3. Put dice in 2. Bump. Back to a 3. And then 2. And then in the turn. Okay. 4. Being reset to 5s. I think you split here. You bump here. You heal. You roll a 4 to a 5. And then you roll a 5 to a 6. Then you do 14 damage. Spatula flipping a dice upside down might be better than bumping. Let's see. Split a dice in 2 works best when you're at 6. Dice value plus 1. Potentially being flipped upside down. Honestly, I just don't think I want to use spatula because I don't want to think it through. Now I want to fight the rhino beetle, that way I have access to the food in case he does a bunch of damage to me somehow. Okay. Yep. First turn, without even doing anything too crazy, we managed to do a lot of damage. Okay. We'll bump up this one. Heal. Then do more damage. Actually, I should have split one of those twos, come to think of it. Yeah. Because if I had split a 2, I would have gotten 2 1s, which would have done 4 damage. Using this. Do I want to take more damage, or do I want to just win this turn? Three threes. I think it is probably better just to win this turn. And then that puts me in a position where I can eat all this food, and then defeating this will refill my health anyways. Okay. 4, 5, 6, or split. See, splitting right now does have that unique situation where I have 5 dice, you re-roll, now I have 4 dice, and then now I have 3 dice. Dice value plus 1 gives you a 1. Resetting this will give me 2 1s. Which really wouldn't do much. Other than that. And it'll start me on next turn with it, with me being at 2s. So, can hit that. We can split that. We can do that. And that. We can bump that. We can hit that. And yeah, you wouldn't want to move to a 3 and then be at 4 next turn. Heal. And then just win. Didn't even really need to heal, come to think of it. Let's see, add 1 attack each time a item is used. Ooh, split a dice into 3 or upgrade equipment. I'm gonna take backstab. That sounds really nice. And so I guess maybe get rid of kunai or get rid of bump or get rid of lockpick. I guess you get rid of lockpick. Decisions. And yeah, I wouldn't want to buy any of these. Next fight. Okay. So, Reset at this point. Bump a value at that point. Do 14 damage. Reset at this point. But even resetting at that point was weird. And probably a mistake, but we'll have to end at that point. Well, he may freeze dice and get him down to 1 anyways. Yeah, I'm all at 1s now. So, 2, 3, 4. Backstab resets based on the number of times you've used it. I don't think backstab is worth really having. Come to look at it. Let's see. Should I use trips now? I think probably yes. Okay. Backstab happens based on each action that's taken. So you could power it up, but you're not likely to power it up. Mate, you're back. You just missed some amazing karaoke. You would not believe how great the Banshee is when she gets going. Okay. Backstab would require an odd number instead of a 3 if it was upgraded. Bump. Kunai. An extra damage. Or max 2. Maybe I really should just be really conservative on the health. More than doing more damage or increasing your odds of damage. Let's see, other options are not really there. Is 1 extra health really going to save you, though? I guess the question is, are we keeping backstab? I don't think we are. If this is upgraded to do +1 damage, then there really is no reason to keep Kunai, is there? And then we could keep backstab and do the other thing, so let's go with that idea. Lockpick to split the dice in 2, and then backstab replacing Kunai. Next fight. You know what I really should have done is looked at this. Get 2 times damage next turn. No, this is get 2 dice of that number next turn. Alright, well, let's fight this one because he might be a higher level, but it would clear the path to potentially skip some fights if I just wanted to make sure I see who the boss is. Okay. A 4 to a 5 to go ahead and just bump up to a 6 to do 14 damage. A split to a 4 and a 1. So do I want to 2 damage here? Yes. And then that's where I'm going to end the turn. This cowboy 6-shooter. Alright, so split this into a 3. You get 3 health. Do 14 damage. Then do 3 damage. Okay. That turned out well. We'll take on the wisp next to unlock more food. Okay. So split this in 2. Then bump 1. I should probably try to use backstab each turn I can use it. Because yeah, you could get 6 or 7 damage each turn. Okay. So, how do we want to do this? Burn, play. I could have potentially used it here. Split. This much. Do 2 health. And then do this 1. Bump this to 3. Backstab for 6 in the turn. I don't know what Vanish does, but we may never get to find out either. Alright, well, 3 health increase. Then split. Then bump. Then this. Then this. Then backstab. Right. And that'll get us back to full health. And taking on the Rat King is easy because we know exactly what he's going to do. Like his actions are just rats. Okay. Split. A dice like this. And then do 3 damage there. Then reset everything to 5. Then bump to 6. And do 14 damage there. And then we'll just end the turn at that point. It's gonna do 3, maybe 4 damage to me. Or more. Right. So split this. And bump this. And heal. Then 14 damage. In truth, it would be undignified for a king to fight as well as a simple adventurer. Have thy moment of victory, thou wilt not have my crown. We're at max level, we've got an extra dice. Let's see. We can't eat that. And unless we wanted a poison needle, which would have 3 uses per turn. To inflict 1 poison. Yeah, I don't think I want that. Instead, let's end the game at 12 or 13 gold and see if maybe that gives us some kind of different ending. We're fighting just Beatrice again, so probably nothing particularly special in this fight. Oh, sweetie, really? You're here to fight me again? That's so adorable. Alright. Limit break. I have 5 dice doing trips to get more ones. And then split the dice. Get one more one. And then playing 1-1 to get to 2s. And then playing 1-2 to get to 3s. So that you could then do this and do just a massive amount of damage. I can't do bump to bump the value up though. But yeah, from 52 to 19 in the first turn with backstab. So once again, this is one of those runs where your setup, your entire 5 floors before this are just set up for your boss fight. Okay. Let's see. If I do this now, if I split this in half now, I can heal. I can also place a shock here. And then do this. And then do this. And do this. To do that. Then we can just win next turn. Like, we don't have to get fancy with it. We've already gotten the achievement for winning with all of the possible like with max health. Let's do trips just to have a massive amount of 6s, just in case there was an achievement around that. And yeah, bumping that up gives you just a 1, which maybe I could have done something with that, but I don't think I could have. What happened there? Okay, well. We'll win that way. Here to give it another whirl? Yeah, absolutely. This definitely could be the time that you win your heart's desire. That would be about the point, now that we've done the first 3 chapters, where it feels like we should unlock something new, or that the wheel should have broken. Oh, look at that. What are the chances? But that's not even the first one of these that we have done as far as episode 3s. So yeah, no major struggle with uptick. And I guess the balancing aspect of this is either I could do a quick run trying to get the 3 here, or I could do a quick run starting with this one. And I guess we will just possibly just lean on Wars on the course. over and over again, since this is designed around the idea of trying over and over again until you win, and moving incredibly fast. Frankly, it's just gonna be luck, because you start with 24 health, and every time you level up, you you know what I should try and do, though, is run away. What happens when I run away? Warrior attempts to flee. Warrior fled. Okay, no, running away just puts you back in the spot you were on before, so there is no secret trick here. It was worth an experiment just to see, since I've never run away before. Let's see. Max 3. So you can't run away. So it really is just going to come down to the randomness of the layout more than anything. Like what enemies will actually be in your way towards getting to the next floor. And my goal is just kind of boiling down to getting to the next floor, or getting down to the boss floor and seeing what the boss is. I wouldn't be surprised if the boss is actually still a big problem. Okay. Well, I totally lose unless I did this. So you lose 2 max hearts, but you get a health refill. But if you're rushing, the odds of you getting a weapon become pretty low. Let's see. We want a 6 still, so that we can get a refill on health. Then run to the next floor. Run this way. Do that in the turn. 3 damage. Do that twice. It's so incredibly tight, though. You're going to have about 18 health. Level up and lose another 2 maximum health. I assume Spike Shield is the move to go with. And then very low chances here of just like in the past I've upgraded Spike Shield. Let's upgrade Venus Flytrap this time. And let's see if we can buy something. Do damage, add 1 poison. Do damage, shocks the enemy. Poison is kind of a feature that would be longer term, so I'll go with shocks. Super enemies definitely aren't going to help either. Alright. Five shield? Sure. Let's see how well that helps us. Okay. Reroll. 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 5 shield. 5 damage. Let's see, we roll for 6, double our attack, and win and get health back. Okay. This would give me 4 health. Let's save it for after the next fight. Three. Roll. 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 5 shield. 5 damage. He's got a lot of dice. 6. We'll re-roll that, and then in return, it seems like you can only blind and curse. It doesn't seem like he's actually capable of. So we know this is a 6. And I'll just do 2 damage there and not bother to try and reroll it. So if he can't do overwhelm, he won't do any damage to me. But his overwhelm is getting stronger each turn. Well, that didn't work out as well as I had hoped. Okay. So we know this is a 6. So that'll win for us. Do we need to do anything else? No. That didn't work for us. So we have to go another round, which this could be deadly. I got lucky there, and I guess I level up and get full health and an extra dice. Whip, do that much damage burn. So, do 6 damage shock versus do any amount of damage and then on 6 inflict 1 burn. I think that's probably a little bit better. Options would replace whip with claw. Sure, I'll make a deal there, and that will open up another option. I guess you inherently have this better situation if you had 6 items instead of 3, because then they'd have to do more shocks, more blinds, and so big items are not ideal. Okay. And so now it goes, we have to go here, then down 1, then to the cowboy cat. And that means we're going to skip the upgrade. Okay. 6 damage now. 5 damage or 4 damage. 4 damage. Reroll. Reroll. Take them both. And do the damage and the effects. To just try and slow down the guy as much as possible. Locking 2 dice. Okay. Now we activate Fury. Do that twice. 3 to shock with 3 to poison. Let's go with 3 to shock. In this case, shock not really doing much. Okay. 5 shield. Yeah, it doesn't matter. We just need to kind of get one of these. That would do 7 damage and win. So let's just do that. Well, I guess I should have tried to heal. Okay. Next fight. Last time I did this run, I was defeated by somebody who stole my own ultimate attack. I don't have an ultimate attack this time. Let's go ahead and roll a 1 to do double that. Great. 5 shield. 1 poison and 1 there. Trying to be just careful and making sure that everything kind of works. Limit break. Reroll this. Reroll this. Reroll this. 8 damage plus 4 damage plus 1 damage, or even 2, all wouldn't be enough. Just gonna have to hope this can't do 12 damage to me. Not quite 12 damage, but close. Okay. Need a 6. Okay. 3 damage and a poison. 2 damage and a shock. Da 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 bounce. Da do bounce bounce. I love it when you contestants win. Your victory song is so much fun. Alright, and we are just totally screwed at this point. Unless I can buy enough health here. We can't even really entertain the thought of lightning rod or upgrading equipment. So, yeah. Yes, there is a thing about the cowboy that he can only hurt you when he rolls a 6, but he also has a midnight charm to make him roll a 6. Alright. Give me a 6. Okay. Build 5 shields up. Build that up. Build that up. And that. Yeah, that's trouble. That is trouble. Give me a 6. Six damage heal. 4 damage. Doesn't save the day. So re-roll this, I guess. 2 damage there, 2 damage there. And I'm just gonna have to hope he can't accomplish his goal in this turn, which barely wasn't able to. Right. 4 damage on this. Give me a 6. Excellent. Doesn't even really need to heal because I'm just gonna level up to this level. Shield bash needs double bash with the shield, dude. Shield dange. Or last stand, survive next fatal blow, doesn't stack. So, would there be an argument to do last stand instead of claw? I think maybe we're at full health, or we would level up again if we had done every other fight. We're at 16 and we started at 24 health. There's a real chance of still losing depending on who the boss is, unless the boss is just a total joke. Scathatch. Scathake. Yes, sounds... I think this is just a warrior character. Let's see. Is immune to lock and freeze. The half-silent whisper of the underground night carried news to me that you were nigh, so I'm entirely ready to beat you, just so you know. Alright. Seems to me like this is basically the wizard with extra damage, and that we would want her to probably roll low numbers, not big numbers. And she's immune to lock and freeze, which doesn't mean she is immune to everything. Let's see. Start with this, I guess. So we now survive. She has only one dice, so if I tase her each time, that does make some sense. And shield would be nice, so we could see if we can do something with that. Yeah, 5 shields. Now, how are we going to do damage on this character is the real question. Yeah. We already have survive. So now it would be make all the sense to do that. And then roll this. Just 5 more shield. Roll this. Roll this. And we can get last stand down to a 1 to survive a fatal blow also. So if we can just buy ourselves time. Five more shield. And always shocking. And then ending your turn. Does seem like she's just getting 2 every single time. Alright, well, let's re-roll this one. Re-roll that. Re-roll that. We are doing damage each turn, so this may just be really slow. And then every time we get lucky by shocking the right 1 out of 6 odds, things are going to go even better. Reroll this, then reroll this, and reroll this. 6 damage there, 5 more shield there, feed towards the last stand survival. We're at 29 out of 52, and they haven't done any damage to me. But what's crazy about this certainly is that this is just not how this is played out up until this point. Like, we definitely haven't been living this shield life. Where everything works out perfectly. Now you certainly could have a couple of bad runs. Like Nothing stops that from happening. And I can build up as much shield as I want, but after about 20 or 25, I probably should think of doing something else. But if she runs a 6, it is worth pointing out that rolling a 6 is the equivalent of 12 damage. 15 to 16 at this point. And I'll never get my fury because of the way this is set up. And that was 10 damage. Yeah. And that burnt my fire, so do that. If I don't get lucky, 12 damage could put me in a very bad position. But I probably am going to win next turn. So, yeah. I got lucky there because the 6 was that shocked. If not, that would have done 12 damage to me, which would have been 1 shield and 11 damage of 16 health. That being said, I think I've got this. But I don't want to get cocky. Certainly. 3 shield. Tells me I should reroll this. And then I could potentially do 4 damage plus 6 damage and win. Or even 5 damage. If I could get a 5. Okay, no such luck. So 3 shield, 4 damage, 2 more towards that. And this time if they rolled a 6, then I would be in an even better position, so I wouldn't lose. Doing 2 damage and a curse. And this is another scenario where you almost certainly would have gotten that achievement for yeah, you almost certainly would have gotten the achievement for having full health. I can't imagine that there is a scenario here where you wouldn't have had full health. Looking for 4, but 2 works also. Oh look, here we are at the wheel again. Let's give it a spin and see whether this time you might win your heart's desire. Nope, oh well, I'm sure things will look up for you eventually. Okay, so that puts us in a good position in that we now have the first 3 characters, first 3 episodes unlocked. So now we're going to have some kind of weird episodes in a row, doing weirdness on top of weirdness, playing as the inventor and the witch and the jester. Challenge-wise, though, we noticeably didn't unlock anything this episode, and it feels like we should have unlocked something. I guess there's just an unlock challenge for doing the level 2s or 3s of the other characters, not these. And then we'll be into elimination rounds, which feel like they're going to be something different, and then parallel universe rounds, and then bonus rounds, and then bonus rounds, hard modes. Yeah, still haven't seen the finale card. Let's see. 12 or more damage by throwing dice. Still not sure how you would do that. Let's see. Complete the episode as a witch with 4 prepared slots. Not sure how you do that. Roll 10 ones in a row. Yeah, I knew that challenge existed and I thought I had done that, but I guess not. 10 ones in a row. Basically, I think means that you would have to have 2 turns in which you were frozen over and over again. Still not really sure how you'd ever be able to use your limit break twice in 1 turn. Maybe if you had like the boomerang and hurt yourself, you could do it then. Do more than 40 damage in a single attack. That's a lot of damage too. Inflict 5 burn, inflict 5 freeze, inflict 5 or more shock in a single turn. Even when I've done shock builds, I haven't really focused on burn or freeze builds. Doing 5 in 1 turn obviously hasn't happened. Stack 30 or more poison on an enemy at once is kind of crazy. Lock all enemy dice. Use the same gadget 3 times in 1 turn. Hatch an egg. Get your health up. We haven't seen a single indication that you can on how you would increase your health. Maybe that's only in bonus modes. Use a Dragon's Tooth Furry and then complete all 36 regular episodes. I guess that might be what we're making progress to. And then of course defeat Lady Luck. 36 would be 6 times 6, wouldn't it? So we still have quite a ways to go to get to that point. Yep. And everything is going fine. There's not a lot of praise to sing for this game, but there's not a lot to complain about as far as this game either. It was annoying that it took me 4 or 5 tries, even on easy mode, to do episode 3 for the warrior, but I eventually got past it and figured out what they wanted me to do. This really is just one of those games that you really have to realize you need to manage your time, because you're going to burn out on it fairly quickly if you're not careful. You will just grind on it way too much, and you'll eventually realize that there's just not that much meat on the bone or substance or just content in the game to justify potentially playing an episode 7 times just to try to get 1 victory. Compare that to something like Binding of Isaac, where there's a ridiculous amount of content in Binding of Isaac, and you will see almost a completely different game every run, or and the only real danger as far as Binding of Isaac is that you would have to get through the first 10 or so runs before you start to see the game unlock more features. So if you didn't make it that far, you'd probably be surprised to see how much content actually is in the game, depending on which version and which DLC you have for the Binding of Isaac. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and get me a game off my wish list. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.